For 30 days, I gave it my all to learn how to make video games. On the first day, I was already thinking of giving up, but by constantly changing my approach, I was able to snatch my first victory and make a game I'm actually proud of. You will see the reality of a beginner who starts learning game development seriously for 30 days. Plus, you will see all the moments I was feeling down and wanting to give up. Plus, you will see what my mindset was to find the right approach. And I'm going to share the resources I used, and at the end of the video, also share how I would better use the 30 days if I could start over. What is the reality for a beginner just starting out learning game development? The two most obvious characteristics are overly ambitious goals and not spending their available time properly. There is no running away from ambitious goals. They're the reasons we started on this journey in the first place. I looked through the footage and notes and saw that I spent most of my time on things that don't matter at all. For example, on day 2, when I decided to replicate the Breakout game, I searched on Google on what device the game ran, and even the game manual for more information so that I can pick a proper resolution for my game. It will be a lot more helpful for me in 30 days if on day 2 I watched a video on how to create a main menu. It's important what you spend your time on because it adds up. I regret wasting my time being stuck and trying to solve not appropriate challenges. Let's go over a few examples that will make the 2 points I covered crystal clear. What will a beginner like me set as a goal when I have no idea what is an appropriate challenge? For day 1, I decided to test my skills by seeing what game I can create in 24 hours. I set an impossible challenge. There is a big difference between learning and suffering. Instead of seeing potential, I only saw how little I know. Big ambitions and the wrong expectation leads to the destruction of a dream. It took me a while for this combination to take me down because I had a lot of drive and energy that was built up over the years dreaming about how one day I'll be able to make games. Especially when seeing on YouTube other people already doing it. I see it's possible. I set out with the idea to replicate a different game every day. I thought it's an appropriate challenge because I will start with simple 2D games like Pong or Space Invaders. But you can very easily check if an idea is appropriate. Before execution of the idea, if you ask yourself, how do you plan to actually do it? Like, what is step 1? What is the next step? And if there is no answer, it's probably not an appropriate challenge. I attempted to replicate the game in 24 hours until day 6. After so many failures and negative emotions, the desire to give up was just building up. Why not follow a long tutorial of someone else building a game? And that's how I found a 2-hour-long tutorial on building a basic game and all the bad feelings disappeared. It was a signal that I was doing something right, and I remember that signal well. On the 8th day, I stepped back and changed my goal to replicate particular game mechanics. That also failed, and this time I was quicker to change my approach. From the next day onward, I finally figured out what the proper approach is. It's to follow instructions from a tutorial. Everyone can follow instructions. It's the perfect challenge for a beginner. What we achieve is getting familiar and comfortable with the tools needed for making games. When we're ready, the next challenge is after finishing a tutorial or part of the tutorial to make slight customizations, to make it your own, to gradually transition to being more on your own. What was my mindset? It was to at least not give up, like however bad it gets, to stop everything I'm doing and to focus on this one simple question. Am I giving up? If I answer no, it's all I care about. Everything else is details I'll figure out. I'll start over if I have to. I will learn from my mistakes and change my approach, but whatever happens, to at least not give up. And my mindset got really tested when Unity crashed and I lost hours of progress. What did I do then? I was following an 11 hours free course on YouTube and I was close to finishing it. But for some reason, Unity decided to crash and hours of progress was lost. What got me heated was not only the time lost, but the way Unity handles crashes like that. There is a backup of your scene after a crash, but it gets deleted when you open the project and hit start. So not only a lot of hours were lost, but you could have saved them if you didn't open the project. My only thoughts at that moment were that when I'm this emotional and angry about something, any action I decide to take from here on, it will probably be a big mistake. So I decided to stop completely and come back until I cool off and start thinking properly again. Another thought that helped me calm down is that I'm glad I learned the lessons of making backups and having version control while following a tutorial. And here is a very important detail in the mindset. By not giving up, I don't mean to continue working on a project, to open it up, to see if I can solve the situation. The meaning of the mindset is to give up from the wrong approach, not the dream itself. And those were the main setbacks on my journey. From then on, I mainly focused on following tutorials. These are the tutorials I followed. When I am ready, I gradually start to follow my curiosity, to make it a bit more hard and interesting, to gradually transition being more on my own in any way I can find. Most of the time, I was stuck and procrastinated. Throughout the day, I was constantly focusing on how much I lacked in skills and how impossible my dream currently is. I started wondering if I can ever achieve it. That's what got me to want to give up. Luckily, I didn't. And here is the game I'm so proud I managed to make on the last day of the challenge. I was inspired by watching the trailer for the Need for Speed Unbound game.